I am Marjan Mashkour. I am a director of research at the Natural History Museum in Paris, and I am an archaeozoologist. My work is to work on animal bones and all the animal remains from the past, and this is to reconstruct the environment and the economy of the past people and their practices, the agricultural practices and hunting and all the relations between human and animals. During the work in Chanhu Daro, it is now 5 years that I'm coming to Pakistan and to work on Chanhu Daro material. I have had the pleasure to have several people who work with me. Here I have Miss Asma Ayub Liji, who is a doctor of veterinary medicine from the Sakran University, who joined us 5 years ago and who is working with me from that time. And here is Miss Homa Fati from the University of Tehran, who joined the excavation this year. And we made, all of us, a great work studying animal bones, many animal bones from Chanhu Daro. Okay, you remember we found the skeleton of a dog in the field, and here we are cleaning the bones that we got out of the field. It's full of dust. We have to do it very gently, not to break the bones. And I want to show you the head, the skull that we have found, which is very exceptional. You see this skull of the, it looks like a greyhound, but I don't know if it's really a greyhound, but it looks like. And here we have all the vertebral column of the dog, other parts. So we are trying to gently process the skeleton. So she is preparing the foreleg. And we try to get rid of all the dust. Before, I don't want to wash them because I don't know if they will not crack in water, but generally we wash the bones. And what is interesting is that this is a young dog we had. You have the fusion line here of the epiphysis that is not complete. Here, for example, you see this goes here. This is the femur. This is the leg, upper leg. So the animal was young, quite young, and we don't know why it died. It died maybe with a disease, or anyhow it died, and it was found in the middle of many bricks. So we don't know for the moment we don't understand its story. But it's very interesting. It is the first complete skeleton that we have found here in this site, and so we have to treat it very well. Bones that we recovered from Chanhu Daro site, animal bones. And here a student from Jamshara University, Mr. Iqbal Murtaza, is helping in cleaning the bones and washing them. These are large animals like cattle and sheep, goat bones that you can see here. They are very dirty for the moment, but they will get clean after he has washed. And as you can see, we are processing the bones. If you want to look here, the bones very gently, so we don't lose any. any of the bones, and we brush them just to get rid of the dust, and so we can read on the surface of the bones what has happened. For example, here you can see this bone is very much burnt, and this is showing the activities that were ongoing in the field, industrial activities that made use of fire a lot. So this is why many of the bones are either heated or burned like this, carbonized. And so this is one of the main features, I would say, of the faunal remains of Chanhu Daro. So basically, when we come back from the field, we get all these recovered bones, faunal remains from animals. And you see they are all tagged because they belong to a specific area in the field. So we have the information about where they were found in Chanhu Daro, excavations of, for example, last year or this year. And then we begin the process of the archaeological study. Here I'm with my assistant, Ms. Fati, and we are identifying the bones. It means that we identify the skeletal parts, to which part of the skeleton this bone belongs, but also to which species, to which animal it belongs. So, of course, you have to have a lot of experience in the field of archaeozoology, as we have. You have to know very well anatomy of the animals, and so you can identify all these fragmented bones that we have found. Originally, the bones, whereas I showed you with the dog, they are complete, they are not broken. But because of the human activity, because of eating, consumption, people break the bones to make food, and this is why most of the bones are generally fragmented in archaeological sites. But there are other reasons why they are fragmented. It's also the environmental conditions. Here the environmental conditions and the condition of the earth is not very good, so there is a lack of collagen, so it means the organic part is lost. And so the bones become very fragile and they break. So there is a difference between bones that were broken by the people in the past, like this one, for example. This is an old break. You can see everything is in the same color. And here it is a fresh break. This has happened here while we were digging, because the weather is very arid and there is no more collagen in the bone, so it breaks very easily. So these are the problems that we have to face. Nevertheless, we have to identify each of them when we can. For example, this one is a part of scapula, which is the bone that is on the back, the shoulder bone, and of a cattle. So the next step is that we weight the bones, because it will give you an idea of the importance of one animal compared to another animal. It's not only the count, it's also the weight, because over these bones that you see there were meat, so people were looking for the meat, of course. So a cattle is bigger than a sheep, of course. So if you weight the bones of each animal, then you have a kind of comparison between how important was, for example, the cattle compared to sheep or to goat or to another animal. So it is a long process. It's a time-consuming process to collect all this information and to do the analysis at the end. So we have to record, as I told you, the number of the remains. We count 1, 2, 3 for each species, and we record it down, we write it down, and then for important bones, like complete bones, we have to measure them. So we use a caliper digital caliper, and we measure the bones according to a code that we have, measurement code that we have. And for example, this is a talus bone of a goat, and so we are measuring its different parts. For example, this is 34 millimeters, and she will write it down. This GB is 2079, etc., etc. So then we have a complete set of information for the measurements, and so we can compare the size of the animals in the past, because animals were not always the same size. Of course, especially domestic animals, they were managed by people. So if they were well managed, they could have become more strong, larger, and if they were in a weak state, they could be in a smaller sizes, for example. This gives us also an indication of the health conditions of the population, or also on the breeds, which breeds were present in the past in this area of the world. Here, for example, nowadays you have a goat that is very famous in Pakistan. It's in Sindh, it's Patari. But we don't know if it was present in the past or not. So by doing these measurements, we can maybe see if we can find those ancient or traditional breeds in the past.